I was only 6 years old when I realized that my life was not like the life of other children. Other kids in the street laughed, ran freely, and played with toys. But in my house, laughter was a stranger. My father's voice was louder than thunder. My mother's tears were more common than her smiles. I remember sitting in a dark corner, holding my knees, and wishing the noise would stop. Every scream cut my heart like a knife. People say childhood is supposed to be the happiest time of life. But mine felt like a prison, and I was the prisoner. One night, I woke up to the sound of glass breaking. I ran out of my small room and saw my father throwing a bottle across the wall. My mother stood in the corner, shaking, with fear in her eyes. I shouted, "Stop! Please, stop!" But my little voice was too small to calm the storm. Instead, my father looked at me with eyes full of anger. He raised his hand, and that was the first night he hit me. The pain on my cheek was nothing compared to the pain in my heart. That night, I lost the little trust one had in my home. That night, my childhood began to break piece by piece. After that night, I created a secret world for myself. Behind the old cupboard, there was a small space where I used to sit for hours. I kept my little toys there, broken but precious to me. That corner became my escape. When the shouting started, I ran there. When the tears fell, I wiped them alone there. It was dark, it was cold, but at least it was mine. In that secret place, I could pretend, just for a while, that I was safe. But the truth was, no place could truly protect me from the sadness I carried inside. Sometimes, there was no food at home. I remember opening the kitchen cabinet and finding nothing but a few dry crumbs. My stomach hurt, but my heart hurt more. I went to school with an empty lunchbox. Other kids opened theirs, full of sandwiches, fruits, and juice. I pretended to eat from mine, so nobody would laugh at me. One kind teacher noticed and quietly gave me an apple. That apple was the sweetest thing I had ever tasted in my life. Not because of the fruit, but because for the first time I felt someone cared. School was supposed to be an escape, but even there, I was different. I wore old clothes, torn shoes, and carried a bag that was falling apart. The other kids laughed at me. "Why do you look like that?" they asked. "Why don't you bring nice things?" I didn't answer. I couldn't tell them the truth, that my home was broken, my parents fought every day, and sometimes I slept hungry. So I stayed quiet, hiding my pain behind silence. But silence can be heavier than words. And every day, I felt more invisible. The hardest part of my broken childhood was watching my mother cry. She tried to protect me, but she was broken too. Her eyes were tired, her hands were weak, but her love for me was strong. Her eyes were tired, her hands were weak, but her love for me was strong. She whispered at night, "One day, my child, you will be free." I held her hand and believed her words. But deep inside, I wondered, when would that day come? I wanted to be strong for her. I wanted to grow up fast so I could take her away from the pain. But I was just a child, trapped in a world too heavy for my small shoulders. One evening, after another fight, I couldn't take it anymore. I ran out of the house barefoot, tears streaming down my face. I didn't know where I was going, I just wanted to escape. The streets were empty, the air was cold, and fear wrapped around me. But in that moment, the world outside felt kinder than the world inside my house. I sat near a tree, hugging myself, whispering, "Why me? Why my childhood?" No one answered. Only silence. That night, I returned home when the sky turned dark. No one noticed I had left. And that hurt more than anything. In those dark years, I found only one true friend, a stray dog that lived near our house. He had no home, no family, just like me. Every day, I gave him the little food I could save. He followed me to school, waited outside, and walked me back. His presence made me feel less alone. Sometimes, I talked to him about my pain, my dreams, my broken childhood. He couldn't reply, but his eyes listened. And sometimes, that was enough. Even though my reality was painful, I had dreams. I dreamed of a small house filled with peace, not shouting. I dreamed of opening my school bag and finding food and books inside. I dreamed of my mother smiling without fear. I wrote these dreams on small pieces of paper and hid them in my secret corner. They were my treasure, my hope. Because even in a broken childhood, hope is the only thing that keeps you alive. When I was 12, something changed. My father left. He walked out of our house and never came back. At first, I thought the pain would end. But his absence brought another kind of struggle, poverty, hunger, and loneliness. My mother worked day and night to keep us alive. I saw her hands bleed from hard labor. And in that moment, I made a promise. I would grow up, study hard, and give her the life she deserved. I started working small jobs after school, cleaning, delivering newspapers, anything I could do. Every coin I earned, I gave to my mother. She cried, not from sadness this time, but from pride. At night, I studied under the weak light of a candle. The words in the books were hard, but I kept going. Because I knew education was my only escape. My broken childhood taught me pain, but it also taught me strength. Slowly, life began to change. I grew older, stronger, and more determined. I found teachers who guided me, friends who accepted me, and small victories that gave me courage. My mother smiled more often now. Her face still carried scars of sadness, but also a new light of hope. And for the first time, I felt the chains of my broken childhood begin to loosen. Today, as I write this story, I am no longer that scared child hiding in a dark corner. I am an adult, carrying the scars of my past, but also the strength it gave me. My broken childhood was filled with hunger, fear, and loneliness. But it also gave me courage, resilience, and compassion. I learned to survive when everything was against me. I learned to value love, kindness, and peace more than anything. If you are listening to my story, I want you to remember this. A broken childhood does not mean a broken life. Pain can destroy you, but it can also build you. You are not defined by your suffering, you are defined by the way you rise from it. My broken childhood shaped me. But it did not end me. It gave me the strength to create a new life, a better life. And today, I live with one truth in my heart. Even in the darkest nights, there is always a small light of hope.